Hey everyone, my name is PJ Medin. I play guitar in the band Breakthrough, and today I am taking a look at the Eversync wireless in-ear monitor system by CloudVocal. The Eversync wireless in-ear monitor system comes with a transmitter and a receiver. The transmitter is built like a guitar pedal and it's intended to go on your pedal board. The transmitter features 3 audio inputs, 1 input for your instrument and 2 for feeds from a soundboard. It features 2 outputs, 1 for XLR and 1 for 1/4 inch, and it features 2 options for power, 1 USB-C DC in and then 1 regular 9-volt DC in. The plan for today is that I'm going to show you how the system works, and then I'm going to play through it so we can hear how it sounds, and then I will let you know what I think.
We're going to start by turning on the Eversync. In order to turn on the Eversync, plug it into power. That means that when it's on your board, the Eversync will turn on automatically when your board receives power. The Eversync system comes with a transmitter and a receiver, and before I get into the different features offered by both, I'm going to show you how to sync the two. When the system first arrived for me, it wasn't synced up. I had to do that manually, and I'm going to show you how to do that now. First, we start by turning on the body pack. The power button is located here on the side next to the USB-C charging port and the charge level indicator lights. We're going to hold in the power button until the light turns on. Right now, it's automatically synced up with the transmitter, but when you first get it, you'll have to do this manually, like I said. I'm going to make it so the two are out of sync, and I'm going to do that by pressing the sync button on top. The body pack is now ready to be synced with the transmitter. In order to go to the syncing menu, you click the radio button until you get to pairing. That should be the very first option. To start the system pairing, simply press the select button. You'll see this little animation. Hold the two close. When the blue light stops blinking, that means that the body pack is synced with the transmitter. To exit the pairing menu, we're going to hit the radio button 2 times. We'll come back to the channel selection feature here in a moment. And now we're back in the transmitter's main menu. Let's start talking about some of the features. The Eversync transmitter comes with 3 audio inputs. The main one here on the side, this is for your instrument, and then 2 on the back, a 1/4 inch in and an 1/8 inch in. These are for lines in from your sound system. Since you'll be running 2 audio signals into your Eversync transmitter at one time, you want to be able to control the audio for both. And in order to show you how that works, I need to plug a line into the instrument input and a line into the audio input on the back. If you don't do that, the screen just reads null instead of allowing you to affect those audio inputs. Now, to access the volume controls for your audio signals, we're going to click the audio button, and that's going to take us to input 1. That's the input for the instrument. Right now, I have my level set at 7. You can choose from min all the way up to max. To save the level that you set, hit the select button once. You'll see that this square becomes fully white, meaning that the system has saved your preference. Now, to move on to the next audio signal input, that would be the one from your sound system, hit the audio button again. Right now, I have this one set at 5. You have the same volume range for this that you have for input 1. Now we're going to move on to the final audio function by pressing the audio button again. This takes us to the menu where we select whether or not we are using one or both of our audio outputs on the transmitter. In order to select, use the select button as a dial. Once you've chosen your option, you'll click it. You'll see that this little selector icon thing filled in. That means that that is the option that's currently saved for your transmitter. I'm gonna go back to 1. Once again, it's empty. Now it's filled. The Eversync transmitter can work with up to 4 receivers at the same time. Just be aware that each receiver doesn't get its own unique feed from the soundboard. They all share the same signal coming in from the board to the transmitter. However, you can change the audio levels being sent to each individual transmitter. You can do that using the audio controls that I showed you before, where you select the input and then choose the volume level. To change the receiver that you're working with, we're going to hit the radio button 2 times. until we get to the channel selection menu. Right now, since I only have one receiver, I have channel A selected. If I were to want to change the volume levels for a second receiver, I would turn the select button/dial until it moves over to B. Then I would select it. That square would fill in, and that means that that is the receiver that I'll be changing the volume levels for. You can do that for up to 4 different receivers. I'm gonna go back to A, press the button, and now this is the receiver that I would be affecting. I'm gonna exit the channel selection menu by hitting the radio button. And now we're back to the main menu. Before I move on to the audio section of this demo, I'm going to show you a little bit more about how the receiver works. In order to turn on the receiver, like I showed you before, you hold in this power button on the side. To turn it off, you hold it in again. When the light turns off, that means the receiver is off. I'm going to turn it back on. The receiver has the ability to run a limiter on what you're getting in. In order to turn on the limiter, we're going to press this button here. When the light turns green, that means that the limiter is running. Just be aware that while the limiter is on, your volume levels will be slightly decreased. I'm going to turn this off. Back to the blue light, meaning that the limiter is now off. I already showed you how the syncing works using this button, so we're going to move on to the volume dial. Although the triangle indicating volume level is up here, you actually turn the dial this way. So this would be completely off. That would be maxed out. Obviously, we have an input here for your in-ear monitors. On the bottom, you have an aux in for running audio from another source into your receiver. You can use this USB-C port for more than just charging. You can also use it to run audio out from this receiver into whatever program you're using to record the audio. Then finally, we have the clip on the back for your belt. Now let's get the system fully hooked up so we can hear how it sounds. Here's what we have going on. I have my Music Man JP7 running into my KSR series preamp. I will be using the clean channel for this portion of the demo. That is running into my Flamma FS07 cab sim. I have a line running from there into input 1 on the Eversync transmitter. Now I have everything hooked up. I have a line running out of my receiver that's running into my audio interface so we can hear how everything sounds. And then I have an XLR running out of the XLR out so I can show you how the mute feature works. This would typically be the final pedal on your board. So this would give you the ability to completely mute yourself in the system. I'm going to show you how that works. When that light is red, that means that your signal is muted. So if you're trying to play and you can't hear yourself, check the color of the lights. Let's take a look at the screen right now. I may have neglected to mention before that the screen will tell you which receiver you're using. So down at the bottom of my screen, I have a little A, meaning that I am using receiver number 1 or receiver A. Onto the audio level indicators. On the screen, you see you have 1 and 2. Those correlate with input 1 and input 2. When you have sound coming in through input 1, you see input 1 jump up. That means that I have audio coming in through input 1. I'm going to play a little bit of my track just so you can see that 2 works. As I showed you earlier, you can control the volume levels for audio inputs 1 and 2 separately. So if you have a decent mix coming back from the board, but you need just a little bit more or a little bit less of yourself, you'll go into the audio level controls and then stay on input 1 and turn yourself down or up as necessary. You should be aware that the Eversync wireless in-ear monitor system offers a mono signal, no stereo, meaning that it combines inputs 1 and 2 into a single audio signal mixed center. So you can hear what that sounds like. I'm going to play some guitar along with my track. Here's what my guitar sounds like so you can pick me out in the mix. All right, now I'm going to play with the track. And like I said, if you want more or less of anything, you can go into the audio settings and adjust your signal levels as needed.
So here are my honest thoughts on the Eversync wireless in-ear monitor system. I think that this is a cool and intuitive take on personal wireless in-ear monitor systems for a few reasons. One, since it's a pedal, it goes on your board and gets transported with your rig. You don't have to transport it separately in its own container. Two, it's kind of an all-in-one because it's a transmitter, it's a DI box, and it's a personal mixer. Finally, it's got this really great mute feature. So since this is the last pedal on your board, if you don't want any sound going into the system whatsoever, you just mute it. I mean, how cool is that? I think that this is an awesome system. Now, here's my one critique. I think that this system should offer stereo audio for your in-ears. I think that that would take this system from good to great, because instead of having everything mixed together, you can actually have a more immersive audio experience. Anyway, if you are interested in getting the Eversync system for yourself, go ahead and check out my video description. I'm going to throw some links down there. As always, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe to Medins Make Music for more. Thank you.